Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on. It is Late Night America. It is the American Doofus channel. And once again, thank you very much for clicking on. Hello, Proud Army Girlfriend. Hi, Lori Arnold. J Love. Watching people win or fail. Hello, Fred. Yes, we're going to talk about that, Fred, sadly. And again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for clicking on. Telescope, our scheduled guest coming up here in a little bit. And looking forward to that. And we do have some news first. Pooh Scissors, hello. Easily Distracted, hello. And again, thank you all. Hi, GA from CA. And hello to everybody that's not in the chat. Feel free to get in the chat. Just no hate. No threats, no nonsense. It's okay to disagree. It's far, far, far from an echo chamber. Sometimes it's more like a fight club, but we don't want the fight club part. It happens on occasion, but we prefer the non-echo chamber, respectful disagreements when those are warranted. Hello, what's up? Hellraiser, not Kauai. A beautiful day, Cunning Stunt, Lotus Bunny. I missed some people. Good evening, Mats. Gary, Felicia, Leva, C. Let's see, Sumaki. Again, thank you all for being here. Hello, Dean. Hello, Carl. Von Michelle, not. The emoji is the Moai, M-O-A-I. The big stone statues on the Easter Island. And there's some controversy about them, whether there was a volcano eruption there or a wildfire, and whether the stone heads had been burned and damaged, and and plus it's the big head that kept calling Robin Williams big dummy in the Night at the Museum movie. Bingo cards ready. Defender Vance, bingo. Defender Vance, last night, a cremation of cares ceremony a la the Bohemian Grove. And I said last night, Ants, but if you didn't catch it, check out the Belizean Grove, in case you don't know about it. And it's not in Belize. And also the Bilderberg Group. After party tonight in the BTM Discord, according to Paul. So, me to you, Central Coast, California. Hey, thank you for showing up as well. BTM Sparky, hello. Arden, CC, from this I know. Bingo cards ready. All right. Telescope's going to be coming up. Scheduled to come up, and trust that he will. And I'm just gonna let him talk about some things. Yeah, I got it all tucked up under my hat, Gary. Tucked all my hair up under my hat and went in to ask him why. He said, "You look like a fine young fella." Yeah, I think you'll do. Okay. After party at the BTM Discord, according to Paw Patrol. Jeff play fair. Is Jeff in here? Hello, Jeff. Okay. Fireman 13, hello. A lot of people in the chat already. Thank you all. As always, we are going to, normally we start out with the news. breaking news from the mainstream. But I'm going to start out with a couple of things I've highlighted on the show several different times, and it just seems like before this show, it might be a good time to highlight them again. One of them is the first one here is a quote from President Ulysses S. Grant, and it was shortly after he had left office. This is post Civil War, and he says and this is from Snoops, by the way, so it has been confirmed. He says, quote, "If we are to have another contest in the near future of our national existence, I predict that the dividing line will not be Mason and Dixon's, but between patriotism and intelligence on the one side, superstition, ambition, and ignorance on the other." And those of you that have any sense of the news, a lot happened today, and we're going to be talking about that. But first, one other thing I want to share that often reference here. People ask, how did Germany allow Hitler to come into power? How did Hitler rise to power in Germany? And a big part of it was Joseph Goebbels, the Reich Minister for Public Enlightenment and Propaganda in Nazi Germany. And these were the top four things that led to the success. Number one, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. Number two, accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. Number three, propaganda works best when those who are being manipulated are confident that they are acting on their own free will. And number four, it is vitally important to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus the greatest enemy of the state, when that state is a fascist Nazi Germany. So again, just, I don't know, with the tone of everything and with everything happening today and with some of the messages I've been getting, I thought maybe it might be time to revisit those two oldies but goodies from the show. We've been showing those for quite some time now. So let's open it up like we normally do and run through the breaking news. What is the mainstream media putting out there? CBS News has the House January 6th committee votes to subpoena Trump. The one person at the center of all this is the remainder of that quote from CBS News. And indeed, they did unanimously vote to subpoena Trump, and not only him for testimony, but also documents. New York Times has at least 5 killed, including an off-duty police officer in Raleigh, North Carolina neighborhood shooting. We'll have more on that. Nuri Martinez's little Latina girl line sparks a backlash. Alex Jones conspiracy. His empire hangs in the balance after a jury verdict of nearly $1 billion. And I believe he said on his show tonight, somebody messaged me and said that he said, he only has 2 or 3 houses and just a couple of $1 million in the bank. So really, there's not all that much for them to get. they may not look at it that way. They may look at it as you've got this internet show that you've been doing that's incredibly successful, and you're going to have to keep doing it until this is paid off or until you're no longer capable. So we'll see how that all plays out. But that was one of CNN's headlines. NBC News also talks about January 6th hearing. Takeaways: jarring new footage and evidence was shown that Trump knew he lost. Washington Post: Supreme Court rejects Trump request on Mar-a-Lago documents. And so it hasn't been the greatest of news days for Donald Trump. Is Telescope in here yet? I've got some more news, so but I hope he gets in here soon. If not, we will carry on. And as I said, we're going to go a little bit more in depth with a couple of those breaking news stories. And we're going to talk about a couple of things that isn't in the mainstream news. Satellite images show 11 Russian strategic bombers close to the Norwegian border. This comes from the Kyiv Independent. Russia's moved strategic bomber planes to the Koala Peninsula, 32 kilometers from the Norwegian border, according to satellite imagery. The imagery shows that the Russian Olana Air Base on the Koala Peninsula near the Norwegian border, an increased presence of long-range strategic bombers, Tu-160s and Tu-95s. Planes have the capacity to attack targets in the United States, all of Europe with nuclear bombs. Planes are usually stationed at Ingalls Air Base, 720 kilometers southeast of Moscow. So I'm sure our United States Air Force is aware of that and tracking that as well. You're just not going to hear it on the mainstream news. Update on the Raleigh police. This is an old update. The suspect was not in custody 3 hours ago. It still remains an active investigation, but the suspect has been taken into custody. It is a juvenile, a white male teenager, at least 5 dead, including an off-duty police officer. I forget the name of the little community now. Anyway, there were at least 2, if not 3, separate shooting locations. What the scanner said and what the internet has said, I'll get to in a minute, because that's not, that's all hearsay, so to speak. Some people were killed on a walking trail. It appears that the off-duty police officer was sitting in his car. This is according to witnesses. The young white male walked up, fired 2 rounds through the windshield of the car, and then fired through the driver's side window as well. Then walked to the trail and continued shooting people on the trail. One officer that had responded to the scene was also shot. He was hospitalized and released. One other person is in the hospital in critical care, and at least 5 people have been killed, including the off-duty police officer. And it remains an ongoing investigation. The next The next update will come at 8:30 in the morning. And before, just in case you're in chat and it chats, because I can't see it at the moment, I'll get back there in a minute. But remember, there are millions and millions and millions and millions of non-violent teenagers, okay? Too often we get into monolithic thinking. Everybody is this way. Everything is this way. All white people act this way. All black people act this way. All Republicans believe this way. All teenagers are like this. There are plenty of people that play video games that don't end up killing people. There are plenty of people that are on social media that don't end up killing people. So while something is going on, we can't get into the monolithic concept of blame, okay? And that often happens, and these situations happen way too often. Too many mass shootings, and too many of them by white teenage males. Iran security forces killed 23 children and during protests that have been ongoing throughout all of Iran, repeatedly used unlawful force, fired live ammunition, metal pellets at protesters at close range, misused tear gas, and beaten children with batons, allegedly. But I've seen video. I'm not going to show the video because it's basically walking up and shooting people. And according to Newsweek, Vladimir Solovov, Solovov is the one that we, those that watch the show a lot, it's the one that we show on occasion, that we show what the Russian news is saying. He wonders if invading Ukraine was such a good idea, and he now says it's no longer a special military operation, but a battle between Russia and NATO. So that's what the one of, if not, he's like the Tucker Carlson of Russia, okay? And that's what he's saying. And of course, North Korea. North Korea has fired artillery shells in the east and west buffer zones of the demilitarized zone, which is a violation of the 2018 Inter-Korean Accord. And that comes from South Korea. A Texas sheriff, and I got more North Korea news. I know, not a surprise. Texas sheriff has certified that the migrants flown from Martha's Vineyard by Ron DeSantis were victims of a crime, and it qualifies them for a special visa that they would not have otherwise been eligible for. Now, this is a different police officer shooting than the one we opened up with. The one we opened up with, again, police officers and civilians shot by a teenage gunman in Raleigh, North Carolina. Gunman shot and killed 2 Connecticut police officers who had been deliberately lured to the scene by a 911 call that came Wednesday night, and a third officer was severely wounded and has undergone surgery. Bipartisan committee investigating the attack on the U.S. Capitol unanimously voted. Okay, yeah, we already touched on that. What does it mean to Trump? That was the reason I brought that up from the Washington Post. What does it mean to Trump that this subpoena happens? Well, it all depends. It all depends on how you look at it. Hold on a second. Okay. He's a narcissist, and he hasn't had a mega stage in a long time. A lot of people say he's not going to show up. A lot of people say if he does show up, he'll just take the 5th. A lot of people say he'll be in Mar-a-Lago and unable to attend. I think he shows up and he can't keep his mouth shut. I think that's what happens. He's going to want to play this thing to the bitter end. But that would be horrible legally for him to do. His legal counsel is probably advising him the same thing that Roger Stone's legal counsel advised, and that was to plead the 5th, because it's not just federal charges that, he's had a bad legal day. He will be made to answer questions Sunday regarding allegations he raped a woman in the 1990s. This comes just a week before the midterm elections. Donald Trump's deposition is the October surprise no one was expecting. There are those that are Trump loyalists. We all know that. Some of you are probably watching, and thank you for watching. But there are many that will go, okay, I'm starting to really question this candidate because this guy's endorsed them. All right, that's just the way it works. We talked about it the other night. You cut down one tree and you're not a lumberjack. But if you associate yourself one time with the wrong person, that can stay with you in the eyes of many people for a long time. People close to the case say Walt Nauta, former Navy sailor and valet, told the FBI agents that he had moved the boxes of documents at President Donald Trump's request, and that came after the subpoena, and these are the documents that you are looking for. Okay, that was an update that is no longer relevant. But back to North Korea, Seoul also had to scramble fighter jets as North Korean warplanes, bombers actually, flew close to the border. And that is that's not something that happens every day. Okay, so who knows what that guy's thinking? And I've said it on here more than once. I'm more concerned about that than Putin pulling the nuclear trigger. Again, this was the initial report 6 hours ago. Active shooter with multiple victims in Raleigh, North Carolina. And here's the area. Right in here, there's a walking trail right there. Hedingham Golf Course. And so that's the Hedingham is the neighborhood. And I couldn't think of it. So that's where the active shooting took place. It's no longer an active shooting situation. It depends. Now, I said I would say what the scanner said, and I will before we wrap this up. And actually, I think that might just be it. Yeah. Okay. The local scanners said that they had what appeared to be a 15-year-old male. Blood pressure was 90/50. Breathing was labored and had an open head wound. So that was the report from the scanner, and there's video of an ambulance coming to the nearest trauma center with police escorts, and it is suspected that the shooter was inside that ambulance, and that is the sad situation that the residents of Raleigh, North Carolina face tonight. Did I just see? Telescope. Why isn't there a bingo square for Chaldeans smoking weed? Careful, I'm in Indiana, and it's not legal here. So anybody watching in law enforcement in Indiana, they're somewhere else where it is legal, and it's okay. Telescope, I'm here. All right, man. While you are visible, let me pull up the invite. And hello, Rooster. Robert Escobar, ACB. Telescope is on deck. Start smoking if you got them, Lori Arnold. Let's eat boogers, defender of ants. Yeah, just click on that telescope and we'll bring you up. Telescope is sad, and he can't complain to boot me from BTM anymore because I left on my own. It used to be illegal to spit on the sidewalk in Indiana. I don't know if that's still in the Constitution or they took that out. Did you get that? Invite post. Let me put it down here again. WYSIWYG laid down his fascist rules on his fascist show tonight, LOL. Can we go have fun Saturday, doofus? I don't know, Lori. I don't know what we need to find out where you're going to be, where we can meet, and what goes on, what's happening in that area. Does Telescope do activism, or does he just talk about himself? Defender of ants. We will, Lori will email right now, though. Right now, though, I've got
I fucking love it, dude. That's hilarious.
The hysterical Telescope. How you doing, dude?
I'm good, you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. What are you laughing at?
Oh, Ant's comment. He gets to cry about how he can't afford batteries and makes a few $100s in 15 minutes. Is it really activism? And I mean, you were a TPC member, and you definitely weren't a 76 member. I'll give you that. Lori was, but I'm going for full cards tonight too. So.
I was going to say, are you trying to bingo somebody on purpose right off the bat, or?
Oh yeah, we're gonna bingo all this shit. Hilarious. So start having fun, chat. And actually, it's not even why I'm here to begin with, anyway. So, but no, he cried for how he couldn't afford batteries for his megaphone and made a few $100s in a few days. He used to call me up crying about how he wanted me down there and would give me money, and I never took anything. So there you go. Okay. So is he an activist or is he a grifter? Because he seems to live in a rape van with "media is a virus" written on the side of it, and he's part of the media. So he's creating entertainment and drama. Excitement for everyone. So it's quite interesting when you really think about it.
Yeah, and these are questions for him, and I'm sure, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. But hey, a lot of things happen on here that I don't expect. So
I've been protesting the movement longer than he has. While he was in 76, I mean not 76, TPC. I was protesting CPC, so there you go, Ant.
Are you coming to Indiana Saturday for the?
No. The shit's fucking dead, dude. Like I'm literally gonna read a Nietzsche quote. So there you can get your bingo quote now. Your card. So cards ready. In individuals, insanity is rare, but in groups, parties, in nations, in epochs, it is the rule. So there you go.
Okay. All right. I got you. I understand that. Give a little simpler version of what you just said in case.
It's about herd mentality. It's the groupthink and the masses. Another weird little quote from a person who weirdly has been canceled for various reasons. Marilyn Manson, they love you when you're on the covers, and when you're not, they make love to one another. It very much is, you have this herd mentality, and it's like if they, what they think at that time is so great and wonderful and fantastic, and then eventually it fades away. You have the insanity of groupthink, in which we've all found of the thematics of. So here's your another bingo card. I'm putting you to sleep.
No, man, not at all.
And the chat. It's a chat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Every explanation.
All right, because I get focused on the conversation and I forget the chat's even over there. Mm-hmm. What's the difference between herd mentality, groupthink, and cult?
Not that much of a difference.
Okay.
You have a group that states that we believe in X ideal, and that's what they followed through. That's what they want. And by any means necessary. Now, what's interesting about all the thematics of what we've seen over the last 8 months is how those ideals have changed. You have people on here that said, "Hey, I used to support TPC, and I eventually went to such and such group." Because I recognize it was a farce or whatever. And so it's quite interesting, the thematics and the composition of change.
Do you think it goes back farther than just the 8 months? Do you think it goes back to pre-January 6th?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think this just is a microcosm of it all.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, I've referred to that a few times. That's why it's so interesting to cover. Because it's kind of a microcosm of what's going on in the world, and especially in our country.
Yeah, but what you also see is certain people grifting for money who they want to run around D.C. yelling about how they hate Proud Boys, but hang out with a person who's dating a Proud Boy. So it's quite fascinating, isn't it?
You're going. Somebody paid you to do a specific bingo card and get all these topics out right off the bat.
Oh, no, it's the fucking truth. I mean, why not? If you want the truth out, right? Like,
yeah. Sometimes we can't handle the truth, but most of the time, we want the truth out.
Mm-hmm. They want the truth. They want transparency. Here's transparency.
All right.
I came on here. I know you wanted to have a conversation about why the boards are melting down. I think I can kind of give that to you. That's the reason I contacted you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, let's start with Anarchy Princess had a tweet up yesterday that somebody game dev or something like that is a big wig in BTM, and I don't even know who it is.
Neither do I.
Okay. All right. Okay.
There's another bingo card, I guess, square for you guys.
And I'm not saying that AP was agreeing with it. She was saying she didn't care, that somebody had sent her that and she really don't care.
Well,
just to make it clear, that
the board wants their drama. It's not really why I'm here, but she would have been nothing without BTM anyways. Max Flower tracked her down after her first visit there. And she was still whining about today with Julius and didn't know anyone really on the ground there at all. And she wants to talk about how she really watched it all. So here's another bingo square for you guys. How she watched it all, but she didn't really know anyone there. Max Flower tracked her down, brought her to the board. We kind of educated her. I've had multiple conversations with her on the phone about, hey, who's who down there? So, I mean, she does what she wants to do. I really don't give a shit. I mean, the DC protester's kind of outlander because she's not a protester. She's a fucking grifter. Okay? So there you go. It's my opinion.
Okay.
Mama needs to buy milk, doesn't she? PBR. No square.
Mountain Dew. Probably not a square. All right. So, what happened?
What happened to what?
What happened to the BTM boards?
It's not coming back.
Huh?
BTM felt that it achieved all goals that it set out to achieve.
And it's not coming back.
No,
it's
not coming
back. A thing of the past.
No. I thought about doing it on my channel. But there's no reason with all the board drama, and that's really why I contacted you to have this conversation.
All right.
I feel I have an understanding why things are the way they are.
Okay. All right. So it's not coming back, but BTM Discord will continue.
Here's another checkbox. It's an echo box. It's an echo chamber.
BTM's an echo chamber. It has become an echo chamber.
Yeah, it's set out to destroy the things. It became the things that it set out to destroy.
Yeah. Interesting. Because I've jumped on Discord just to respond to messages such as you and I have exchanged, but I haven't been in any of the actual rooms. Interesting. Okay. So, is there a need for a non-echo chamber site that people can try to share, or is it even a feasibility in the climate we're in?
It was required, I think, at that time. Definitely with the TPC days, because everyone, kind of need a refuge because you had a lot of naysayers and what you would call like just a bunch of shit talking internet trolls. For all of us to kind of build our own community, because that was the whole thing. If you thematically at the low hanging fruit is, it was all about community building. Now those communities changed throughout the times, and we definitely see that nowadays. But at that time, it was definitely required. BTM started. I mean, they started their channel because they were one of the first people to do anti-TPC content.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Doe show got strike. And then and a lot of us were like people who came from Doe, or at least watched Doe or whatever, and he got the strike, and then he didn't come back to YouTube. And BTM put up a chat for people, to have a chat experience. So there you go. And then we all kind of built our own community there. So, and then none of us went back to Doe. And, obviously things went forward. I think everyone knows kind of the lore and the story of that. So,
well, go ahead for those that don't, because I've got some viewers that don't. Okay.
Doe would come on every once in a while. When he got the hit, like I said, we started developing our own community. And then he
by the hit, you mean the thing with the
copyright strike.
Okay. All right. Was that over the two college girls?
No.
That was
the copyright strike was, I think it was him restreaming someone.
Oh, okay.
And then BTM put up a chat until Doe came back in the beginning. And, we all know how Nosferatu is. He would carry it on the board once in a while and kind of give a shit. And all of us were like, we're not going to Twitch. We're very happy here and on YouTube land. And I guess so I went down there to Bunker Hill. Afterwards, we kind of got on Wyckoff. So Wyckoff's chat was very nice and formal with us. And we were on there having fun one day, and Doe kind of ran his mouth. And I hopped on Wyckoff's chat, and I kind of had it out with him about how he didn't confront the TPC in LA. Then I hopped on his chat and had it out with him. And it was all recorded on there. Carl made a video about it. So there's another bingo space.
Carl made a video about it.
He did. And then that's where the two young girls video comes from. It was from that video.
Okay. All right.
And that was his top. He didn't get a copyright strike for that. But like I said, all of this was like at the basic level is community building. Because even what we find is like people who eventually came to like BTM and stuff were people who at some point did believe in TPC and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually they recognized it was a lie and joined us. And, the themes of it changed. But like back in the day when that happened, which is weirdly enough, it's not that long ago, but it feels like
it seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And you had, like all of us. I mean, if you're recognized as a BTMer, like especially moderators would write down our names and automatically we were pre-banned from certain accounts and stuff. You find that still in certain accounts, but I think the whole landscape has changed with the counter protests and everything.
Are we going to get our BTM shirts?
I'm not in charge of this fucking thing. Get a hold of BTM for those shirts. They do exist. I got mine. I did give mine. I gave mine to Mel, but they do exist. So
they do exist.
Some people got them. Some people haven't. I don't know. I know when BTM sent them out, they were using the handles and stuff. So like mine came in telescope.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I may contact your local post office.
That's what I was going to say. Is there anything in my local post office for American Doofus?
Maybe. It might be.
Yeah, I'll have to check. All right. I did the opening thing. I don't know if you were here or not, but U.S. Grant, former president of the United States, said the next Civil War won't be the Mason-Dixon line.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be other divisions. Do you think we're closer to Civil War than the last time you and I talked?
No.
Okay. Do you think if something happens to Trump, if he is indicted, just indicted, let alone incarcerated, do you think he has the power to create an uprising?
No.
Okay.
You have the majority of the Republican Party that really doesn't even behind them anymore. They're kind of moving on to greater pastures, so to speak. I'm a leftist libertarian. So
yeah,
but I don't really say that. I think that's all because. They may threaten it. They may like.
That's what I was going to say. I've been getting a lot of chatter that the worse it gets for Trump, the worse it's going to get for all of you, and by all of you, anybody that's not one of them. So that's why I asked.
Okay, so do you want to get into the why I contacted you thing?
Yeah,
I've been making notes all about it all week.
Yeah. Now let's roll, and then we'll take some questions from the chat.
Sure. All right. So here's some weird little background to what we're dealing with. Why you have meltdowns in the chat. So so like I said, bingo cards marked. So the analytics is you probably share this because all of us the streamers and stuff that I ever shared mine with. They kind of have similar numbers. So the people who are watching this movement, for instance, like 25, 35, 2% of my viewer base, 35 to 44, 14%, 45 to 54 is 25%, 55 to 64 is 39%, and then 65 plus is 20% over. Okay. Now, the weird thing about the live streaming thing is we had to obey by rules that were set by IP2 streaming over a decade ago. So that's where like people like Corinne, Frosty Bruce, who comes on, I think every once in a while, comes in my chat, comes in other people's chats. Gucci's, it's not on it, which is not on it. bingo card night. But that's where they all come from. So like it's absolute anarchy on the rules. Like you can do doxing, you can do swatting. That's part of the name of the game of it. So I know Wizzy likes to pull his. This is what the left does. No, this is what the rules of streaming has done. The evolution of that. That creates a certain sense of reality. So like 1776 was a Trailer Park Boys meets a soap opera meets a reality television show with a chat background narrative and to a cult. So you had all that kind of perfect mixture, that evolution of entertainment, the evolution of I can make my voice heard. Like I can literally just go down and put a stream on and if you want, to throw up a gifts and go or whatever form of payment method to support whatever you're doing. No, I didn't. I didn't take any money till the end of it. I took a few bucks, but not that much. Not in comparison to everybody else. Now it's not a cheap operation, but at the same time, there are lots of people who are still desperate for the content, and this is what it's about. It's about the content. So one part of the meltdown with the boards is how we did counter protesting. So, I mean, obviously the chat was very, very exponential, very great on what everyone did because it kept people up all night, and it's not just one board, it was multiple boards. So you have, and even with the content that we were providing, even the counter protest with the squad, we don't get along. Everyone did a good job, in my opinion. It was very much 200% adrenaline fueled, white knuckled, in your face content. And it didn't stop. Like where back in the day, even with certain forms of counter protesting, with when Elisa or like I were there or something like that, you would get that maybe like once a week or once every 2 weeks. This was nonstop, 24-hour. Like you have to fucking be awake all day, glued to your television because something might happen. Now they benefited as much as we did. Now it obviously was the destruction, and you see the remnants of certain things. My notes. So the infighting so when we all originally got together with the squad, we all mutually agreed, I thought, that it would not, we would resolve our differences with one another on phone conversations or just being like through human interaction. You find out that everyone didn't really particularly agree with that, and it had to be put on display, because when you make that infighting public, it makes it much more socially acceptable to have people to publicly infight on boards. People who particularly got along for many months, and now you see them as like very much enemies on that regard. If you have any questions, just go ahead.
No, I know you've got notes and you've been preparing for this. So,
yeah. So what happens is with all of it is it all ended worse than the ending of Game of Thrones. Because everyone wanted this huge grand finale of
everybody celebrating, and yes, everybody yelling for victory and getting ribbons and medals, and like Star Wars.
Yeah, there was that in DC. When they left DC, there was a sentiment of that. The Bunker Hill stuff was a completely different level, different game. Particularly, I know they want to call me like telesnitch or whatever, which I don't care. You had to work with that police department, because there's going to be trouble over it. They were particularly like arguing a Waco against us. I called the police department, I think about a week and a half before they got there. I think it was right when they left DC and they went camping, and I contacted the police departments and stuff over it.
Are you still following the possibility of 1776 setting up camp in Indiana? I mean, if that were to happen, would you be active? Would you be calling? Or are you done?
It's dead.
Okay.
1776. Actually, I wrote another quote. Weirdly enough, it's a bastardized version of Nietzsche. 1776 is dead, and we have all killed it. What shall become of the murderers of a social movement? And I think we're finding the fallout of that. That people want the validation. You know, like there's a certain sense of projection of characters that people would like. They attach themselves to. You know, they donate money to. They watch. You know, they implement that. Weirdly enough, that money, that's partially the reason why I never took it, was that money's control. The people who give it to you have a certain sense of control to you. You feel an obligation to them. You feel the sense of you have to do their ever beckoning will, and without the regard of like your own life and decency, because multiple people got arrested over this. You know, they had to go to court. They had to do those things. And they were the beckoning will of those people who donated hundreds to thousands of dollars to every one of them. And that's even on both sides too. It wasn't just a counter protest side. It was definitely on their side.
Oh, the more active the counter protest, the more money 1776 made.
Absolutely. Now the benefit was it was kind of like put it practically on methamphetamine and burn the fuck out. You know what I mean? Yeah, they were getting more money, but at the same time is the effect was we destroyed it by doing it. You know, like we're going to give you 200% adrenaline fueled content.
And I can't, you know,
no one can handle it. Like when we were down there, we weren't fucking eating. We weren't sleeping.
And it was intense. It was intense to watch. You know, it was intense to observe. I can't imagine how intense it was to be a part of.
Intense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's once in a lifetime opportunity, as I think they always say about Woodstock. You don't know unless you were there. So,
yeah.
It's one of those experiences.
All right. You have anything else?
Yeah, I have tons more.
All right.
Tons and tons more. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. So you have a certain sense of creating the outrage, control the narrative. So when you put all the drama on display, you can create infighting, and that benefits certain streamers because they care about their numbers. They care about their donations that they're getting in every day. As I said, I didn't really take any. I didn't really care to, because I was all about ending them. When Billy pulled the gun out, I recognized the people down there were not about ending the movement. They were about the money and the fucking viewers. And you see that from their content, and it's very representational of today. Now, is it content? Absolutely. Do people love the drama? Always. But it was never about those things. You know, one of them was about the pedos. I'll give her that. The other was about who hit red, and about some weird alliance that dealt with TPC and not about the pedophiles at all. Very interesting when you think about it. The counter protest movement. So that's even including BTM. That's including people who became a counter protester too. It was based on connection and deconstruction. So in the evolution of the actions that people still want outrage, drama, and deconstruction, therefore the implosion of the boards and the loss of communication was necessarily as dismantle. So
interesting. Yeah. In layman's terms.
In layman's terms, it was bound to fail. Like the implosion that you're finding on the boards was bound to fucking happen, because people wanted the validation. It was never about human connection at that point. It was about connecting to dismantle this. Well, eventually when that goes away, because it will go away, and it did, you're bound to implode. You're going to turn on one another. And, you know, we're all been in the same houses or around the same people for months on end. Let's see.
So you're saying it's like human nature that you have to implode. Um,
Yep.
so
Is it? Was it the? So you have two options at the end of the Big Bang, right? You have the Great Elastic Band, or it just states a universe of nothing, which is weirdly enough one the same, anyways. It all returns to where it started, or what you find with the issues of BTM becoming an echo chamber. The things that wants to fight becomes those things. Um,
do you
but
think that? Do you think you saw a fracturing of 1776 at roughly the same time when Patriot Q and Frankie Bobby started their own camp, if you will, and they kicked out what's his name, Golden Chariot, and he started his.
I think there was a fraction before then.
You think there was a fraction before
Yeah.
then?
Hmm.
Because those things kind of happened at the same time.
That
Uh,
happened. Yeah, it did. There was a fraction before then. I
okay.
used to go to those stupid ass rallies. Um, there was a fraction before then. I think really when it came down, it was when the Wizzy versus Oreo stuff happened.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Um,
Sorry to interrupt. Go back to
my stupid notes. Okay.
yeah your notes.
So there's a lot of operant conditioning involved with the streamers and the money and the content and the drama that was created. So operant conditioning is, very much the Pavlovian dogs
Right.
salivating. For people who don't know.
Yeah.
So you have that, reward versus punishment. You do great, you get better viewers, donations and validations. Do bad, critique, and negative effects. And you always found that. And but like bear in mind is what I brought up. There's not really any rules to any of this either.
Yeah. It's kind of uncharted territory.
Hmm. Yeah. So weirdly enough, is since everyone started imploding, the content is completely dried up. That's why people are driving to people's houses. That's why they don't know what the fuck to do with themselves. You have envy and projection amongst posters that want recognition. So you have people who are just regular people in the back coming out, and like I said, the board was incredibly effective. But at the same time, it's they want the recognition and the validation as most everybody else, because there was those dopamine hits when they were donating money. There was those dopamine hits being on the phone all day long and not spending time with their family, not spending time with what they're supposed to do. I mean, I'm guilty of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But so then you also have the herd mentality along with it too.
So the chat kind of created stars
Yeah.
on a like a micro level.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the weird part where it's all entertainment for itself. So like entertainment for the sake of entertainment as it ends in itself. So
Wow.
Which is weirdly enough is what we're finding now. Now you're doing great in your numbers, and congratulations on Friday night with your numbers. It was awesome. I was listening to it on the way home. Oh, it's a Friday? No, Saturday night.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to it on the way home from the concert.
That was it was hard not to jump in.
Mhm.
It was hard just letting them talk.
Mhm.
But it's interesting, and it was drama. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it'll probably be the last time I have somebody from 1776 on.
Really?
Yeah, because it opened them up to exposure. I mean, he could have said something wrong. He could have let something out. Maybe he did, and I'm not aware of it because people are still picking it apart. But um, I think,
I thought you did an awesome job. I think you should probably get Naughty Aubrey or Hippie Mama or Hippie Aubrey, whatever you want to call her.
Hippie Aubrey.
Hippie Aubrey.
I'd like to have her on. I'll have her on and talk with her.
Yeah, I think you should have her on.
Huh?
I think you should have her on.
I will. The offer's out there. So yeah.
So like besides, the one thing, it's all of it's a decaying social movement, and I think it's reflective of everyone's numbers. Anyone who's a streamer, we're all watching our numbers go down. Now yours is going up, obviously, because you're doing the cleanup work. And
Yeah.
I think you're doing a really good job doing it.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. I said it on here. I said, now it's going to become, everything's going to be online, and it's going to be shows like this that, that everything comes to now, because the IRL part of it is non-existent anymore,
Yeah.
unless it's created.
There's no reason to have it anymore. I mean, they're not living in a parking lot with, pedos aren't living in a parking lot with children anymore. What's Mags doing? Hanging out in his house near Pittsburgh? What's Wizzy doing? Going through content that was a week old, eating popcorn. Yes, it was very funny watching you eat that, Wizzy.
Is Wizzy in here?
I don't know. Maybe. He usually lurks.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's nothing there. We all killed it. I mean, we all destroyed it. I mean, even they destroyed themselves too, and they had to take that reflection amongst themselves.
Do you think the last those that are still there and still loyal and still trying to sell memberships? Do you think they will eventually have to just understand that this isn't going anywhere?
It's not. I mean, okay, let's do the math. Was $150 a year, right? And you have to you have to pay for your own background check. That's around $40 to $200, depending on what you're using it for. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Then there's a background check. Now they couldn't get people to join when it was free. Then you have to pay for a background check, and then now you're doing a $150 membership a year. So let's say hypothetically they get 100 people to join them. That's only $15,000 a year. They're not going to be able to support that.
Yeah.
It's just not feasible.
Yeah.
And then you have all the other things of them committing EBT, food stamp fraud, openly. I don't think DC is going to let them back. So I don't think they're going back to Bunker Hill. They lost everything. That is a stain on that entire movement.
Do you think anybody has turned anything over to the feds, or has that all been just online talk that, we've investigated this about 1776 and we're going to turn it over to the feds? Do you think that any of that's real? Do you think there's any potential blowback coming to 1776 and those associated with it?
I know a person who talked to the feds.
Okay.
So the feds said they cared about two things. One was quid pro quos.
Okay.
So if they're
quid pro quo being, I agreed to do this for you if you do this for me.
Mm-hmm. That, and it was conspiracy to commit acts of violence. So that they were going to go out and hypothetically shoot the counter protesters. Okay.
All right.
Conspiracy. They didn't care about anything else.
Okay. All right. Do you have more, or
you
want to go to the chat, huh?
Let's see.
Right.
So I think I just said that. So here's the other thing too, is since it all ended, you have all these people who spend thousands of dollars and energy and thousands of hours watching all this crap and going on those boards and trying to get recognition and validation. And there was no proper ending. That it's I might have mentioned this before, but it created a lot of that infighting, that perfect storm for it. That's why you're finding all these names coming out of the woodwork and everything. There's a certain sense of what you call social phenomenology involved with this. So how he socially value things, how we are socially experience things. So it's us por your eye, knowledge that comes with experience. So kind of like human, like civilization is a human construct. and those values that we mutually share with one another. Now you're finding the values, what that was based on was based on deconstruction. So, we're all going to deconstruct ourselves in that regard on the boards.
Interesting. Well, we've got some people in here. You ready to take some questions?
Sure, why not?
All right. If you are in the chat, pop a question up if you'd like, because Tommy Temper. Can you see Tommy Temper's question?
No.
Okay, I'm on a different software than I was last time. I like that other software a lot better as far as chatting, but
I'll flip over my phone to it though. Let's see. If you want to read it off to me, I can.
Yeah, I will. Let me get back up there to it. Telescope, who is Samuel?
I love Samuel.
That's from Tommy Temper.
Besides, Samuel was a person who trolled the hell out of them and got $4,500 worth of Santa's freedom money that Santa lied about, getting in the first place. So, and he was dumb enough to give it away. That's who Samuel was. He used to come on BTM every once in a while. Weirdly enough, he used to name drop us, and then he started coming out who he was and everything. But yeah, no, he took Santa's freedom money, and weirdly enough, he actually offered me money one time to go down there, and I didn't take it. I didn't go.
Okay, Retro Games Are Us. I don't know if this is serious or not, but it says, question, Telescope, why are you racist when people say hashtag all lives matter, ? Go Jeebus, tell us, read my question.
That is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm not racist when people read all lives matter. I mean, why don't Black Lives Matter? Like, why does it have to be an all lives matter thing? 76 really proved that all lives matter because they believe in pedophiles. Thought we already mutual respect that, they're pretty bad. But
yeah, I didn't know if that was a serious, again.
I think it's a dumbass thing.
Okay, this is from Cunning Stunt.
Mm-hmm.
What does Telescope think of how Red and Mel talked to Lisa Hurley about her mom, who has passed?
I've came out and said that I'd never supported that. Lisa and I had communications on the BTM board. I contacted Red the next day about it. Honestly, I don't really want to get into it.
Okay, yeah.
My opinion really doesn't matter on that. I didn't say anything in regard of it. There was communications done between Lisa and I, and I like to keep it that. So I think that kind of builds into something else of, I was having a conversation with another BTMer about certain things lately about the board drama and stuff. About back in the day, there was very much a line split of a common enemy, and there's no common enemy anymore. So we just make enemies of one another.
Interesting.
So there's no content, no 76. So the new content is created by board drama, and you're finding it very representational on Carl's content, ideals that people are just, I don't know, they may need help, serious psychological counsel, or that weird paranoia of one another or a different person. It's very interesting.
Okay. I'm looking for questions here, because I think a lot of them are having conversations with each other.
Sure. And it's just since there's no real content anymore. So back in the day, we were getting that that in your face content, that there was always something new every day. So no one really hung on what happened the day before. And what you're finding is, so for instance, is wolves will eat their own, when in times of starvation, when the food source is dire and necessary for their own survival.
So you're saying that the drama has to be created amongst ourselves now because we don't have anyone providing a counterbalance,
Absolutely.
a villain. Every hero needs a villain.
Absolutely. Because it creates value. Like the thing is like when I was bringing up the analytics of the people who watch this and people who participate in it, it's a weirdly enough, like when you read the boards, you think it's a bunch of like teenagers or people in their early 20s. That's not the case. That's probably a 62-year-old female doing that. And they're regaining their lost youth by doing it. Like, because there's no real because for the posters, there wasn't consequences at all. They didn't put their face out there. They got to sit in their house in Canada or Indiana or Texas or wherever the fuck they're from. And they got to say whatever the hell they wanted to say. And there was no consequence for that. Now, for us live streamers and stuff, there were consequences.
Yeah.
Now, some of them were at the beckoning control of the people who would donate money to them. And they had to do what the people who were investing in them wanted to do. Because you found a lot of people who, weirdly enough, I mean, besides AP and I, like all of them, like were supporters of them at one point.
Right. You and AP were the only ones that weren't really connected to one of the convoys in some way, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
The only connection for me was I was shit talking them online. But no, there wasn't any connection. There was connection for a lot of them. So they have that, and like I didn't take money down there. Someone donated $50 to help pay for Lori's and all their hotel. But I didn't take any money because I believed in ending the fucking movement. I didn't believe in building a fucking streamer base and being a live streamer because I wanted to end it.
Yeah. Okay. Your friend Xfoot is in the chat.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
He's a foul-smelling beast.
Let me see where that might be his first. No, here he's made several. He's made a couple of posts at least.
Okay, someone said they need the fiance square, so my fiance. She's happy it's over. There you go. Get the square.
So you have to mention your fiance.
I got a message saying they wanted the fiance square. So
okay, all right.
I had to mention her.
How's your fiance?
She's wonderful.
All right.
Lovely and great and grand and probably too good for me. So I've known her for 20 years.
Xfoot says, "Hey, Telescope, acknowledge me."
I'm gonna find you.
So are there going to be more Xfoot videos, or is that dead too?
I have one's already done. Now, bear in mind with all the issues and stuff online, I kind of held off posting it till all that kind of stuff died down. I might post it up in the next day or two, but it's done. I have some ideas for a few more, but I haven't filmed or anything. But the final one of the season's done. Let's just say that.
Okay. Xfoot says, "Are we going to have a beer together?"
Oh yeah, I'm gonna find you. We're gonna have a beer, and I'm gonna stick my thumb at your bum.
Gary says some of us just don't put up with people who aren't genuine. I'm assuming that's in reference to the BTM.
I think that's in reference to me, but Gary doesn't want to resolve problems. He doesn't want to communicate. So, like I said, BTM's kind of dead. Kind of became an echo chamber. Lack of communication, lack of people caring about it. I mean, it's a decaying social movement anyway. So, like, why does it matter? BTM served its purpose.
Okay.
Let them have their chat at night. I really don't give a shit.
Okay. Why were Fireman 17, Kaiser Mama, and Lotus Bunny kicked out of BTM? Adorable Deplorable wants to know.
God. I actually really kind of came into this and not do individual things. Fair. But I mean, if you want an answer, I mean,
it's up to you. I'm not going to force anybody to answer
So
anything or yell at you.
the Kaiser's Mama's dilemma was done under a few different things. That was actually chosen by Gary and BTM. It wasn't chosen by me. They just told me. The Lotus Bunny issue dealt with leaking the conversations on the chat to other people, which is a weird violation of our rules. I mean, she can come back to BTM. I don't give a shit, honestly. No one fucking cares. What they want to make like fecal art, whatever. I don't care. Don't have it.
And Fireman 17.
I don't know about that. That might mean I'm a Gary or BTM. I don't know anything about it. That wasn't done by me.
Okay. And who's BTM?
BTM.
Will BTM ever be known? Will we ever know who was behind BTM?
There are people who know.
Okay.
Maybe they might. They're busy with they started a new job and everything. Like, honestly, they're fucking done with it. Like, I don't understand. Like, I've had conversations with them. Like, I probably respected BTM more than anybody else. We'd have all night conversations.
I was on the chat board the night that that there was the countdown till the end of BTM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I saw it end, and there was like this weird video, and then it started back up again. It was a countdown to something else.
Yeah. No, BTM. I mean, they started for a reason. It achieved all those goals. I mean, people have places they want to go to and not worry about being banned or whatever. So, like, let them have those places. Back in the day, there wasn't those places for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that changed.
Hey, I could be telling this story from a completely different angle if I'd had a different reception when I first started investigating this, and I first started going to the 1776 streamers to see what I could learn. And if I would have been even treated decently by the streams or by the chats over there, I would have told this from a different story. But I was just told go to BTM if you want to know that.
I mean, that was.
And then once I got to BTM, it was just like, well, yeah, I'm finding out what's happening.
It was the same thing with me. Like, so, like, I've always said from day one that I never spoke for all the people on the board, because you have a variety of spectrum of personalities.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of done by default because I just kind of went down there, and then I kind of came the face of it, because there was this whole online troll community that no one knew. They knew it existed, but they didn't like have a face to it.
And it kind of made it easier for them to make BTM, the boogeyman, if you will, because there wasn't a BTM, it was a community.
Yeah, it was a community, and it still is a community.
Yeah, right.
A very small one now, but yeah, there was community. I mean, I think we all still know each other's names on here.
Yeah,
not real names, but we all see each other on the chats and stuff, and so there's always still that kind of reference to it. But like I said, I never intended to speak for them. I never intended to be their face. It just happened by default, but it's nothing that I really ever wanted. I didn't chase the clout for it. If I want to chase clout, I would chase clout.
Yeah, but I think you are considered now the face of BTM because you were down there and you were well known in BTM.
Yeah, absolutely. It was synonymous. It was synonymous with one another.
Right.
And then, like I said, there's moderators that made, even people on this chat right now, I'm not seeing it, obviously, but that was synonymous with being on BTM too, because people, there were moderators that would write down people's names that would automatically ban people.
Xfoot says he's a villain. I guess
he is a villain. He's fucking smells bad.
I guess that's probably from when we were saying, every hero needs a villain.
Absolutely. That's my nemesis, is Xfoot.
Yeah.
And Oreo.
And Oreo?
Yeah.
Okay. Give your nemesis some advice. What should Oreo do?
Stop.
Okay.
Stop while you're ahead. Don't be literally the worst fucking human being that's ever existed. I don't think there's any redeeming qualities. which is sad. I think everyone has it until it comes to him, and it's literally just if you care about your family, do the family shit.
Yeah.
Don't go out and create drama and, like I said, create the outrage, control the narrative, right?
Hmm.
And that's what happens. I mean, he promotes doxing. That's another check for your boxes tonight. Promotes all those kind of things. 76 did it. They promoted it under the guise of being a moral social movement, which was quite interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. X-Ray still coming with a convoy from Missouri, right? That's from
Sure.
That's from Max. That's from Max Flower.
Hey Max, how you doing? Love you. Miss you.
Al Munson. I left when Lotus got banned. Lotus Mossad handler.
Like, she can come back. Like I said, she can come back. I particularly don't care, honestly.
Let's see. I'm just kind of reading as chat flies by here. Fireman 17 asked Gary if he can confirm he was never kicked off or banned from BTM.
Yeah, I don't.
Not Kawhi says Oreo is a dog fart. Cindy wants to know what's Telescope's real opinion of Wizzy.
Well, I'm banned from Wizzy. I'll tell you that. I'm definitively banned from Wizzy. I've even kind of contacted Rooster about it a few times. I did enjoy his content tonight. I was watching it earlier with him and his obsession with that fucking popcorn. And
I didn't watch. Ant was on earlier, not. I don't know if it was Ant. Somebody said it might have been even you that Wizzy put up a fascist chat on his fascist channel or something like that.
Yeah.
He's trying to define fascism.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what fascism is. So that's quite. He has some weird political views. Like, they don't really. They're let's just say they're incoherent and they're incompatible with one another.
Okay.
He has some leftist views. I'll tell you that. But he also has like weird leftist views that he wants to be right wing views that just not compatible with one another. And yeah, his promotion of that popcorn tonight was fucking hilarious. Like, my fiance and I were just laughing our asses off.
I'll have to check it out.
If I had a better computer, I would have literally made a video about this, because I was like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. And it's incredibly expensive. Like, it's like $11.50 a fucking bag or something like that. Like, it's just
for popcorn.
Yeah, it's like a flavored popcorn, and you can get 10% off if you use his code.
Well, he should have been selling that when all the drama was happening.
Oh, no, he kept eating it. He kept fucking eating it all night. I'm like, when's he gonna stop eating this fucking popcorn? And
Darlene's super crash. I'm assuming that's Darlene's super chat. Darlene, thank you for the super chat. That's what Taco Joe said right before he crashed into the back of the.
Was it $5? How much money did you get?
$5 super chat, I think.
Oh, dude, you're fucking totally. Luckily, you're not in a car.
Says Wizzy is a cesspool of the worst people in the world. Okay. Lori Arnold says we got Vern to shut down his Rumble too.
Cool. Awesome.
American Doofus channel, Mo Beta. You know who Mo Beta is?
No.
Okay, Mo Beta is a dumbass cookie Tifa in here screaming like the moron he is. Okay, he's in the chat.
Okay.
Thank you, BTM Sparky. Let me see. Have we got anything else in here for Telescope?
I'll answer all the dumbest questions if you want. I don't give a shit, honestly. What square you guys need? What square you guys need?
Telescope has a great demeanor. Is it okay to call him a cutie pie?
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't figure he'd
Appreciate
have
it.
a problem with that. Um, oh, oh, Vern got shut down for doxing people on his chat. So
That's weird.
uh,
I used to.
that plays into what you were saying.
I mean, I turned in uh, a few of Oreo's mods before for doing that, and Oreo and YouTube never shut down their fucking streams.
Hmm.
Very interesting how when you have 37,000 viewers, or are they real people viewers, or are they bots?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they never shut down the stream, and I turned. One day I turned in, I think, like 7 times, I think, against me.
Wow.
Yeah,
And nothing ever happened.
nothing.
Okay, Darlene Super Crash wants it to be clear that Wizzy's channel is a cesspool of the worst people, not Wizzy himself.
I get along with Rooster. I knew Kerfuffle used to come on the BTM boards and all that kind of stuff. CKM was another BTMer. I think they're dating or something like that now. I haven't spoken
Oh,
to him in a while. But
yeah. He always says he has the best looking mods on the internet.
Kerfuffle was real cool. She's a real cool girl.
I thought so too.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Rooster. Kerfuffle, I've only spoken to like a few times. Rooster's awesome. But like I said, I'm banned there. So, and that was a personal thing done from Wizzy. It wasn't done from his mom.
Choda Jeans wants to know when your book is going to be published.
Next week.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. Seriously.
Oreo is currently using another channel while he's banned on YouTube.
Yeah, that should be handled by YouTube because he's avoiding the ban.
I didn't know Oreo was banned. Wow.
I've read on Twitter today because I do follow a few of the people of the stuff, and they were mentioning how Oreo is banned. It got a 1 week ban. I guess for the Trump stuff, because everyone who's ever been to a Trump rally, like Jersey J. So there's your
Jersey J Square.
and there's Jersey J Square. He was banned for.
We've said Ant. We've said Lori. We've said AP.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we've said Telescope. Jersey J Squirrels. Is there
BTM
anybody?
shirts.
BTM shirts. Is there anybody we haven't mentioned?
My fiance got one.
Square? Yes, your fiance got one.
PBR, long-winded.
How about Jersey Jen or is
I don't know. She has her own channel now.
yeah? Okay.
She had a wrench on my stuff when we went camping, but it was more for her to drop her link. It wasn't really for her to moderate or anything because I keep my chats unmoderated anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. I had Jeff. I mean, I gave Jeff a wrench. So there you might have a Jeff Square now. But
Jeff, yes.
So no, I gave him a wrench because when I was in DC, because when you're like down near 76, you get like a lot of viewers and you start dealing with like the porn spam links and all that kind of stuff.
And I think people don't understand that about half of all of our viewers are there because they hate us.
Yeah.
You know, they're there watching for something to go wrong or somebody to misspeak or yeah. You know, the numbers aren't love. The numbers are just people watching for whatever reason and don't fall into the trap you think everybody loves you. And I think that's happened a lot.
Yeah, so when I go live, sometimes I would get a lot, like some of mostly it's the BTMers. And then, but you know your numbers are higher, so they're the lurkers, and obviously it's the lurkers from the other side and everything. You would see it on BTM boards too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'd have original content. You know, besides just having the chat. You know, our numbers would go up to probably what yours are right now. And then, you know, it's from the opposition. And I know like some of them. I talked to I think it's Buffalo Man's wife one time. And she was mentioning how she would go on the board on the BTM board and laugh her ass off every once in a while.
Okay, since there's only a few hundred of us in here tonight, and me and you, I got an email a couple of weeks ago, and it was from a 1776 viewer that that asked me not to tell anybody, but said she started watching my show because she got tired of looking at bald-headed guys with long beards incessantly, and she wanted to see something else. So she found my show one night and has been watching ever since. So thank you. I know you're not active on the boards or anything, but uh,
Well, I'm a long haired person with a beard and a scarf. So there you go.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a long-haired person. I got my hair tucked under my hat. Um, okay, Robert Escobar. You know Robert?
Yeah, I know Bob.
Okay. What does Telescope think the counter protesters should do now?
Go home.
Go home.
There's
Uh,
nothing. I mean, I don't. I mean, I know some of them don't have homes. Sorry. Maybe work towards doing that. Go into
we're
other people's houses and or I mean, you won't live in a van by down by the river. You live in a van down by the river, right?
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Incredibly funny, Chris Farley. Um, Chris Farley bit. Somebody else had a question here, I thought. Uh, okay. The question was, who is Claude? And then Al Munson answered, nobody cares about Claude.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck God.
um, all right. Uh, Carl has officially declared that it's over.
Oh, he
I'm
did.
done.
Okay. Did
I'm
we get a
done
full
with.
card? How many
I'm done.
bingos?
I'm
How
done
many
with
bingos?
this. Doing my own thing that counts. Square it. So that was probably the last. That's probably the last square that was needed.
Awesome.
Pro,
Have fun.
protest email advertising is what somebody recommends the counter protesters do.
I
Uh,
think Paw Patrol is supposed to promote that was it their the BTM after party at the Discord or something? I don't know.
yeah, that yes. Paw Patrol said the BTM party was going to be, there was going to be a party at BTM Discord, the after party tonight.
Sure.
Uh, really, uh, Claude played a kind of a Claude played a part in this,
He did.
right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I
I
mean,
would say he's a definitive psychopath.
oh, okay.
I don't really
All
want to
right.
get into
Well,
details of it, but I'm saying this is
then
a
we,
person that
yeah,
rolled
I'm
into
gonna say that.
Bunker Hill alone by himself at 8 o'clock in the fucking morning and got in their face. And he went to DC. So there's your DC one war story. Um, he rolled up. I didn't know he was coming. I never even spoke to him outside the BTM board. I got a message from BTM saying he went there at, I don't know, like 8 o'clock in the morning or something, and went and confronted Wyckoff and all them in black box gear and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So that
All
was the
right.
weekend I was there.
All
I
right.
think it would have been like the Saturday or something.
Yes, Paw Patrol is back on here after party in BTM Discord.
There you go. Your check one. Did we get a full card yet?
Has anybody yelled bingo and I missed it?
There's definitely a bingo, but I was trying to give him a full card.
Or has anybody got a full card, a coverall? Because you get bonus money for a coverall.
You get a T-shirt in the mail.
It,
We don't know what size yet, though. You'll get a T-shirt.
Freedom Ninja said Claude provided us with hotel rooms.
He did. So I hate admitting it on a live stream. So when we were at the Bunker Hill, he put it on his credit card. So when I got the donation, weirdly enough, I said I paid my way, but I donated the money to Claude to cover them. That is an absolute truth. So
Okay.
there's your truth that no one knows. This stuff happens to things.
Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
Oh, Kaiser Mama's in here. Okay, she's not talking about us. I'm pretty sure she's
Mhm.
seeking somebody out in the chat. Uh, all right. You got anything else, man?
No, I think I covered all my bases of things I wanted to say and have some fun conversation with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Always enjoy it.
yeah,
And,
it's a lot of time.
and we'll do it again. Anybody else? Last chance for questions or comments with Telescope.
Yeah, and congratulations on the growth of your channel and everything too. And I think you're doing a lot of the cleanup work. That was
Yeah.
kind of
Uh, actually, it's kind of the regrowth. My channel was about at this point, um, January 6th. And then all my videos that I had been doing got pulled because I had a whole bunch of intel and all my J6 stuff got pulled. Uh, Nova Big Star wants to know if you're all right.
I'm good.
Good.
Actually, I'm doing a lot better. I've been kind of taking a break from it all for the last week or so. I really haven't been around much. So like I'm kind of getting back and enjoying my pumpkin spice season and watching horror movies, and like I got a new guitar lately. So I've been like back doing the music thing and not like sitting on boards and stuff all day long. So actually it's been like incredibly like great.
Awesome.
And like
Yeah, because it is white knuckle anxiety, stress.
Mhm.
Anything can happen at any moment when you are actually doing it.
Yeah. And you have to sit in the board, and especially when you become more high profile too. So now you're having to watch not one, like, because that was effective against them too. And I don't think people really understand that. When they were all necessarily just living in a fucking parking lot, AFC and TPC and in 1776 concluded, they were not watching one chat. They were watching multiple different chats all day fucking long because of the paranoia. And that just heightens all the anxiety and everything.
Yeah.
And so that was, I mean, the chat was incredibly effective, like I said, but that's also the downfall of what we're experiencing now too. It's the effectiveness of the chat, and there's no more content. You know, like when we ended 76, and we all did. Now there was infighting between all of us. It's been on fucking public display. Everyone did a really good job. I'll apply. You know, I don't really get on with Ant. I don't really get on with AP. Lori, I don't know. Who fucking cares? But we all did an amazing job, you know, and we ended it. And when that happened is people spent 8 months of their life gravitating towards this entire movement and wanted this huge grand finale that just never happened.
So there's kind of like a withdrawal effect.
Well, the thing is, and then you also have the weird like social behavioral psychology involved with it of everyone, these movements and the themes and everything, how everything evolved and evolved throughout time. It was bound for what we're experiencing now, anyways, because it was about the deconstruction of a social movement. But we created communities and social movements in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have that as the underlying foundation, eventually the house is going to fall in. That's just what's going to happen.
Okay, a couple of comments on here that how can you say it's over when the pedophiles haven't been held accountable?
They were.
You think
they were held accountable? They were held accountable.
Okay.
I mean, is our criminal justice system just? No. There are multiple criminals who go away with like absolutely a slap on the fucking wrist. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's certain things. It's like we create, for especially with pedophiles. They're held accountable by having to, okay, they maybe have served their time in jail, but then having the back end of having to state that they're a pedophile for a lifetime or so many years, or depending how it's sentenced.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying the criminal justice system is just. I'm saying this is the reality of it.
Right. And I've been saying that, you know, if you cut down a tree, nobody calls you a lumberjack.
Yeah.
But if you protect one pedo, you're a pedo protector for life in the eyes of many people.
Absolutely. When they did. Well, they lied and they deceived and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the pedophiles aren't there. They're not living in a parking lot with them anymore. Like, Max was right when he brought that up on your stream the other day. Now, should we hold them accountable for lying about that? Absolutely. But the movement's dead. Like, where are they at? Most of the people are at home, or they're touring around the United States, trying to grift for money, so they don't have to go back to their real life. I mean, what? Santa leased his fucking vehicle, but he didn't work for 8 months. Who's paying for that lease? Because obviously the repo company didn't come and take it. I mean, his mother.
He's not old enough for Social Security, or
No, 57 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how old he is.
I think
Okay. Have you seen Naughty Girl Aubrey stuff? She's still with the group. Have you seen it? I haven't seen it.
I saw like a 10-second fucking clip of it, and I literally had. So here's your authentic, my fiance thing. She got mad about it, and when I was talking about it, I think I was talking to the Wyckoffs about it in the phone, and I saw like I think a 10-second clip, and I'm like, this is like the most foul, disgusting thing ever.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, we made a joke when I was down there with like when we went camping called "and more." Like she had her list of the things that she would do, and at the bottom it said "and more."
And more.
Like, and
so
more.
you created your own and more list of.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's probably things that are considered illegal, but I mean, there's and more. I mean, the list enough really sold itself.
And as far as I'm concerned, everybody let their freak flag fly, whatever, But if you're gonna promote yourself as a moral Christian group, then you got to have moral Christian members.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or you're.
I mean, as essence, that was the whole argument against them to begin with, anyways. It was like, okay, you're promoting the Constitution. Now, bear in mind, they're not promoting the entire Constitution. They're not promoting our amendments. They're promoting the Bill of Rights.
Right.
And really neglecting the other ones. And when you brought it up to them, they would not talk about it. But like at their essence, they didn't believe in those amendments either.
Right.
And, and you obviously have that incompatibility of the belief of we're going to promote morality with the constitutional republic, or whatever they wanted, how they worded it.
My theory was that it was never, it was never about the Constitution. It was never about Christianity.
No.
It was never about patriotism. It was either about Trump or a criminal organization.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a microcosm of the issue that we're dealing with. They're a Christian authoritarian kind of right-wing structure that's developing in our current society, in our current climate, that you're finding, with people being like, what's interesting is when I remember when I ran into Santa in Berkeley Springs, and I brought up, he was talking to some elderly people around him, or whatever. And I worked on an interview with him for 2 or 3 days or something like that. Because around that time, I started really getting the cult-like issues and stuff with him. And I worked on an interview, and it was very much directed towards that. And I went up and talked to him about, I'm like, hey, do you have time to do this? Whatever, X, Y, and Z. He said he didn't, but I was just talking to him, and I brought up about his Proud Boy affiliations. And let's just say he wasn't so proud to be a Proud Boy there.
Really?
He skirted that away. Yeah, he wasn't pulling out his coin and wearing the fucking shirt. He skirted that away around the people who were around having that conversation. Was very fascinating where you find it now, because when they went to DC, he kind of pulled that out and promoted his affiliations and stuff. And there was other ones who were Proud Boys and stuff too.
Dean Wall says they are a cult.
They are. Absolutely right, Jamal. And how you doing? I've seen you in a while.
Carl says Telescope Brett and Ninja bigging you up big time, King. It's not all that bad.
I don't really know. I haven't been doing much. Carl, make your content funny again. How about that?
Uh, okay, that's private. I mean, that's amongst the chat. Uh, is David even a real Proud Boy?
I mean, he promotes himself to be one.
He wears the shirts. He sang the song one night during their karaoke thing.
Mhm.
Um,
I mean, that's the whole question about all of them. Are they real Proud Boys in themselves? You know what I mean? Is it just
yeah,
a flagging like operation of, back in the day, I think there was that weird rumor about Lil Wayne being a blood or something. Is he a true blood or is he false flagging? And I mean, that's a question you'd have to deal with these right wing movements because. So
some of them are saying they're military or former military, and then you find out they're not.
mhm.
I mean,
Well, one of the counter protesters' boyfriends is a Proud Boy. Very
mm,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. All
We don't
right.
talk about that in other people's streams, right? You can't really talk about that. Their affiliations with that is they'll argue about Proud Boys, but when it comes down to the brass taxes,
I think the affiliation with Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, people are going to start distancing that more as more and more sentencing comes down. Um,
but you have that. You have affiliations with 3%ers. You have affiliations with
yeah,
other right wing groups. Obviously affiliations with J6ers.
yeah.
Um,
What do you
obviously
think?
affiliations with
What do you think about J Sixers? All right,
they
let's.
committed treason.
Okay, do you think the people that committed treason are limited to those that went into the Capitol, or do you think anybody that was at that speech that went on the Capitol grounds? What do you have? Do you have degrees of what you mean by that?
I mean, obviously the ones who entered the Capitol committed treason. I mean,
Okay,
to think that you had the autonomy. I mean, obviously you had the autonomy to do it, but you had like the right to do it. I mean, because really, let's just say hypothetically, they got the ends to their means. Okay, the means was we're going to storm the fucking Capitol
mm-hmm.
because we don't agree with an election outcome, and they got what they wanted. They got the election overturned or something. Well, they're obviously saying our constitution is not void because they don't agree with it. And I mean, Ashley Babbitt, to think that she shouldn't have been shot is absurd. I mean, I don't think those officers had any other choice. Um, it sucks someone died, but at the same time, it's like, what did you expect? I mean, you have a mob, a mob of people. Now, obviously, if you want to go down there and protest, now there's a difference of storming in the Capitol versus standing outside the Capitol.
That's what I was going to ask. What do you think about, like, let's use Wizzy for example, because I think somebody has said he was there but did not go inside the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Okay. It's fine.
is you think that? I feel
Well,
like that's different.
that's different. Yeah. If he's
I,
outside on the lawn, I don't see a reason for him to go to jail. Now, if he's like
right?
going over the portions that were there was the barricade, because that's where that was the issue.
Yeah,
They started moving the barricades back.
yeah.
So if he was not out, I mean, he was outside of a portion that there was a frontline barricade. There's no reason for Wizzy to go to jail. I don't see a reason.
Right, right. And I mean, not just Wizzy. I just said we'll use him as example because
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
there
Let's
were
say
thousands.
hypothetically.
Yeah, there were thousands and thousands of people that were at that speech and supported the thought, but didn't go into the Capitol.
Every person that was in the Capitol should go to jail. That was past the first barricade. Let's say hypothetically.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you're not supposed to be. There's a barricade there. You're not supposed to go past it. They went past it. They were using that as a weapon. They were using. What I mean, they stormed those officers. I have my own thoughts of like the government saying we didn't know this was going to happen. Everyone knew it was going to happen for a month.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole thing on fucking 4chan and Reddit. Like everyone knew it was going to happen. And when the government goes, "Oh, we didn't have any idea." Oh, you had every idea. You're not telling me you have fucking analysts that are my age that get on those forums and chat rooms and that don't understand like intelligence. Like this is fucking ridiculous. We can literally send a drone up a person's fucking asshole thousands of miles away, and you don't understand that there's going to be people storming the fucking Capitol after this? It's absurd.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man. We're coming up here on 2 hours, so
yeah. I only meant to keep you for like a half hour. So
hey, I appreciate it. Come back on, all right?
Yeah. Well, I'll come on when I have something to talk about. How about that?
Yeah.
I like keeping myself scarce. You said that one time, and I agree with you. Yeah, like I think you called me in Jersey J, like kind of special guest appearances.
Yes. Yeah. When I was describing how the whole thing worked, that Aunt Lori and the AP were kind of like the Three's Company.
Sure.
And you and Jay were kind of like the dude from Dallas, Larry Hagman, that has to come on in order to kickstart the new series.
I look at myself from like Cricket from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love Cricket.
Popular enough to have your own show, but you're on this series to give it a jump start.
Absolutely.
And then the squirrels showed up whenever things started to lull a little bit. Mm-hmm. So everybody kind of did their thing.
That's what made it all effective too.
Yeah.
We're decentralized. I mean, that's the one thing you find of right-wing movements or left-wing movements. Left-wing movements are decentralized, where you have a centralization of power in right-wing movements. So that's why you always see them going much toward a business model. But then you deal with more of the accountability and money and all that stuff, where left-wing movements is more about the message.
Right.
So,
and right-wing movements, a lot of the people have a sense of privilege as individuals. So that is always going to create a conflict with somebody else in that movement who you're going to think you deserve more or whatever.
Yeah.
So while left-wing movements are like herding cats, they are a lot more effective.
Because it's about the message.
Yeah.
That's what I think all of us, even those like right and left wing coming together, we were effective.
Yeah.
And I mean, we destroyed them. There's issues. I'm not going to lie. There were. But we all have our inner fighting. But I think collectively together, we were effective. Destroying them.
And you and Jay building the tent it's going to go down in history as some of the least appreciated humorous content online.
Yeah,
because that was awesome.
I haven't talked to Jay in a while. I need to call him up. I've been trying. I might try to get him on your show.
Yeah,
person to talk to.
I'd like to have him on. All right,
he
man.
has a lot to say.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
I'm looking down the thing real quick, and it doesn't look like there are any questions. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and congratulations on the booming your show, and you're doing the cleanup mess. I mean, trust me, you're dealing with the drama that no one else fucking deals with.
It's like the Carol Burnett show at the end where she brings out the mop and starts mopping the floor at the end of the thing. That's what we're doing here.
I thought it's a perfect counterbalance to everything, and like I said, really sincerely congratulations and thank you, man. And the best of luck. I'll try to get. I'll send Jay a message.
All right, cool. All right, that'll fill my bingo card.
Okay, awesome.
I'll see you later, man.
Take care, man.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
There we go. An evening with Telescoped. Linda Lou, you missed a lot of questions. I'm sorry, Linda. I'm sure I did. Gary says I'm not responsible for the short orders, but I'm working on trying to get it resolved. Cool. Lori Arnold, I was there as well. Me and my attorney. Okay, attorney, yeah. Um, Having to break windows to hunt people is your warning. If you're doing that while you're trying to stop a constitutional process, must have been a deep chat tonight. Um, Hold on for a second here. Here we go. Anybody have anything? We're coming up on 2 hours here, so this chat has been emotionally draining for me. Wow, I must have missed a lot. And that happens. I get focused when I'm having a conversation with somebody. Um, Carl, total agreement. Total agreement there. May we all leave this shit show behind us soon, and all the best for everyone in chat. Thank you, Lori. Lori, I saw that you emailed me. I checked it right before I came on, but I haven't answered back. I'm going to email you as soon as I get off here. And we'll see if we can't meet up somewhere Saturday if you're going to be in Indiana. And who knows, maybe we'll just end up having our own rally. Maybe a whole bunch of people will want to come and meet up with us. I'm sure you'll find another shit show to shut down. Well, if there are shit shows, we will. Oh man, Spoon, thank you. Ordered my book. I got 3 novels out. The latest one is called America, Land of the Greed and Home of the Grave. And actually, I'm going to have some. I've got some copies ordered that I'm going to have here, and might sell an autographed copy or two if anybody wants one. I think it's messed up how many Americans think that. Hold on a second. That was from Cindy. Well, let me get. I think it's messed up how many Americans think that it is okay to break into your capital. This is the stuff you see in capitalistic nations. Please have it. Hold on a second. Cunning Stunt, thank you. As always. Please, the next 1776 content is maybe when Santa goes to court, but that's about it. Yeah. Please have a show without the 1776 stuff like your old shows one night. We'll do, Maximilian. Yeah. Actually, at the moment, I don't. I've got one friend that I want to have on the show. That is not. He probably he has no idea about any of this. So yeah, and I'm going to try to have him on real soon. And yeah, we'll do. We don't. Doesn't have to be about 1776 or the opposition. Nothing to think about. Yeah, I need to get back to the something to think about shows. Now next Wednesday we are going to do we are going to have the people on that have been wanting to come on. I'm going to do that next Wednesday for sure. Okay. All right. The after party is at BTM, the BTM Discord. I assume it's in one of the live chats. So all of you that are so inclined, head over there and continue your chatting. And as for me, it's coming up on 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've got to. be saying farewell to all of you and do this all again Saturday. I'm going to take tomorrow night off. I will probably be on Saturday night. We may have a surprise thing Saturday afternoon if Lori and I can work out somewhere to meet up. And 1776 Restoration will be in the Raleigh Saturday. That's according to Mike. Take it easy, bad boy. L. Smith, Tupelo, 2W2, Fred, Maximilian, Taurus, Paula, Carl. I know Carl was in here. Grant, thank you. Cunning Stunt, Max Flower, everybody that was in here tonight. If I missed you, I apologize. Gary, thank you again. I probably won't be there. If I am, I'll be there for just a short amount of time. But BTM Discord is where the after party is tonight. And if I'm not in there, say hi to everybody for me. I will be back again either Saturday night or Sunday night, depends on how things play out, and we'll have a promo up to let you know which night I'm going to be on again, and I hope you'll be back with me. I love y'all. Thank you very much. Namaste. Shalom. Salam. Assalamu alaikum. Blessings in the name of the Most High, His Son, and the Holy Spirit. And if you're not spiritual at all, peace, much, much, much positive power and love. Thanks for watching. This has been another edition of Late Night America on the American Doofus channel. I love y'all. We'll see you next time.